All right, my friends, how are you today? Aaron here bringing your solar eclipse new moon horoscope happening in the sign of Libra on October 14th, 2023. This eclipse is going to happen about 1:54 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time, so please know where you're at if you're trying to watch this. This channel is not about what we see outside with our eyes. This is about what's happening on a collective level, what's happening on a personal and a global level with all of us. Now, this personal eclipse is very, very, very personal. The nodes are in, the north node is in Aries, the south node is in Libra. This is only like 3.5 degrees off of the nodes, which means it's a very, very impactful eclipse. All right. This is very different than a lot of the eclipses that we've had. A lot of the new moons, full moons, like where we were last year at this time, it's changed completely because of the eclipses, or because of the elliptical, because of the nodes of the moon. All right. So the north node of the moon is in the sign of Aries. The south node of the moon is in the sign of Libra. The nodes of the moon, we consider this the head of the dragon and the tail of the dragon, where we're headed and where we're coming from the past. Okay. Now, the cardinal sign of Libra, the cardinal sign of Aries. Cardinal sign of Aries, this has to do with me, my I, self. Okay, this is my interpretation of the world. This is my journey. This is my journey in the world, and everybody else is a part of this. So it's like everybody's a part of my journey. At the same time, I am just a part of everybody else's journey. Okay, and we're gonna have to find balance within this. And this is what this eclipse is all about, is about balance. Again, please, there's a lot to cover in this video, so please stick around to the end so you can kind of get a more full picture of what's going on here and how this can help you. So at this point, it doesn't matter where this is in your chart, okay? I'm going to talk about the collective energy of this eclipse. There are two things there's a lot that's coming through the meditation. There are two songs that have been riddling in my head today as I've been meditating about this. The very first thing I heard when I opened my eyes this morning is tell me lies, tell me sweet little lies. And then the other one, as I was just getting ready here to sit down and do this video, was it Soundgarden or Audioscape? Go on and save yourself, blame it all on me, right? So the cardinal sign of Libra, okay, it is no slouch in the zodiac. The cardinal signs are the strongest energies of the zodiac. They're strong because they bring the change. Okay, and Libras get a bad rap as being sensitive and indecisive, not just going with the flow, but kind of whatever. This is an air sign, it means it's very mental, okay? Regardless of its wishy-washy or lack of making a decision nature, it's almost irrelevant in this point, where this is about us and everybody else. This is about you and your relationship with everybody else, okay? Now, the scales of Libra, justice, balance, right? What we say yes or no to in the sign of Virgo then moves forward to Libra. We say yes, no, yes, no, yes, no, yes, 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 no, 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 yes, 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 no, no, no. And these balancing scales are some sort of way of our consciousness, how we go about our life and saying, did I make the right decision here? Did I not make the right decision here? Then I have to use my mind to determine if I want to make that same decision again or if I want to make a different decision moving forward, okay? We always make the right decision given the opportunity at the time, unless we're using this cardinal energy's very strong force, which is manipulation, okay? This is about justice. The only inanimate object in the zodiac is the balancing scales of Libra, which the balance is the zodiac. This whole zodiac deals with balance, which is why this particular eclipse is extremely impactful. And if there was no eclipse here, this would say this is about other people, right? If we were not on the nodes, if there was not an eclipse, this was just a simple new moon in the sign of Libra, this is saying like, okay, it's time to bring our attention and awareness to others. That is simply not the simple case here. Okay. Now, manipulation is one of the keys behind this sign, behind this air energy. We can lie, we can distort the truth, we can manipulate other people with our words. Air energy is fast energy. Okay. And now say that people lie at the average about once every 10 minutes, which is absolutely astonishing to me. I just read this study and my friend posted it online, and I was just like, well, I do not resonate with this at all, but it's really fascinating that this is what the study is. People use manipulation, people use lies all the time to be able to get what they want, okay? So people manipulate other people so that they themselves can get the benefits, the reward, or whatever. Save yourself, blame it all on me. Okay, tell me lies, whatever it is, tell your friends lies, make yourself look good, paint yourself in this beautiful picture that you are the victim here, not the villain. We can forget the words that were said, that we said to somebody else, and only pay attention to the response. Let me see, I just saved this fun picture here. Let's see, can we see it? Is my phone gonna... Your perception of me is a reflection of you. My reaction to you is an awareness of me. Okay, this is a really beautiful example of what this eclipse is all about. Okay, we can manipulate others, but at the same time, if we're not bringing awareness to ourselves and our own actions, how we're working with others, we're going to manipulate the scenarios to make everybody else seem like the villain and ourselves as the victim. Now, there's a lot of paradoxes going on here, okay? So on the other side of manipulation with this sign, you can easily, justice, right? Police officers wear body cameras and can videotape you. But if you pull out your phone and try to videotape them, they're going to ask you most likely to stop filming them. Okay, this is a form of manipulation. I can film you, but you can't film me. This is my security for me, but I don't want you to have security for you. This is a way to gain power for me and make you look weaker. You have less. Okay, this is extremely important because the North Node is in the sign of Aries, which means you, my friends, have to protect yourselves. You have to take care of yourselves. You have to be able to think quick when somebody's trying to do something that is a manipulative tactic to make sure that you cover yourself and protect yourself. All right. Now, before I'm even going to get big into the chart, there's a lot to talk about with this. Now, the first 7 years of your life, slow it down, the first 7 years of your life, approximately, okay, you are implanted the seeds of your parents, of a guardian, the authoritarian figure that raised you, okay? They're going to install in your mind, do not cross the street without supervision. Do not run across the road. You're going to touch the stove, it's going to be hot, it's going to burn you. If you touch the electricity, this is going to shock you. They're going to implant the laws of reality into your mind. This is so important, friends, and we're going to keep it going. This is a huge one, okay? So other people, your parents, for the first 7 years of your life, very, very, very impressionable, okay? We're little sponges at this point, are going to impress their idea of life. Now, depending on how that they were raised, depending on their life circumstances, changes the way that they're going to impact and impress their idea of this reality onto you. But the reality is, it's your reality, not their reality. So we have to undo the thinking, okay? So if they say, look, son, daughter, money doesn't grow on trees. Money's hard to get. They're planting a seed into your mind that money's hard to come across. I remember when I was working in LA with somebody, a dear friend of mine, and I told her I wanted to do some things, and she says, oh, getting an agent is so hard. Oh, I said, oh, okay. And I listened to my friend. She was more experienced acting. I'm a sound engineer, so I was doing fine, doing sound on movies, but she was doing acting stuff. And she's very hard to get this, an agent or whatnot. And then I'm working with my friend Manny, who's a very established hair artist in Hollywood, works with all the big celebrities and big directors and stuff. And I was talking to Manny about this, and he said, Aaron, you should really act. And I said, Manny, I was just talking with a friend of mine, and she told me that getting an agent out here is really hard. And he gives me this look. He said, who said that? He says, that's their opinion. That's them. They're not you. In his very sassy, but very strict, stern, and honest way of communicating. And it stuck with me because it's the truth, and it's right. And here I am sharing that story with you. That just because it was hard for my friend over here doesn't mean it would have been hard for me. what might be really hard or difficult for them might be really easy for somebody else. Clearly, Hollywood is full of stars. There's no shortage of celebrities. So clearly there are agents. Clearly there are people that need to be seen, people that need to be put in the spotlight, people that need to be in front of the camera because they have something to say or an expression. Okay, I found my place in front of the camera, and it's here hanging out with you, not doing Hollywood movies, right? I'll stick to my sound job for that. So the point is, people are going to plant seeds onto our minds of what the world is outside. So money doesn't grow on trees, or money is abundant, my child. Money comes, money goes, we spend it. This is how it works, okay? Or they can say, this is the religion that we believe. This is very important. This is the religion that we believe, my child. And this is the religion that you're growing up in, and God is good, and this and this and that and the other, or whatnot, okay? That might not be somebody else's belief. Somebody else's opinion and belief over here is, this is our religion. We worship this way, and this is how we pray, and these are the practices that we do. So we're getting installed all of these. Again, we're just talking about our parents at this point. The first 7 years is really your parents installing. And it's like, if they have a healthy relationship with themselves, with law and nature, and they say, look, child, if you need help, you call 911. You get the police. If you're coming from an area that's not, and they say, we want to avoid the police because we're going to get in trouble for some other things that we got going on. And they say, you avoid the police, they're going to get you in trouble, right? So depending on how we have been raised, our reality has been shaped before we had an opportunity to create reality ourselves, right? And then we go into school. And now this is the first time we're running around in elementary school, preschool, elementary school, first couple of years. We're first now running around with other people, other kids. Now we had our style, we had our clothes that our parents were able to afford for us. And then we get to see the other kids and what other parents could afford for them. And then you get to see the trends. And maybe I'll speak on my half. I wasn't one that my family couldn't afford to be in the trends, you know? So I'd see all the kids come to school and they'd be wearing this or that. And it was just like some sort of telephone game that they all knew what was going on. They all knew the trends way before I did somehow. And that's all right. I'm all right with it now. I'm at peace. But then we get this imprinted on us to be popular, to be cool, to be part of the in crowd. You have to look this way, dress this way, communicate this way, think like this. To be accepted among my social peers, I have to have the same mentality. I have to have the same perspective. I have to have the same opinions. I have to have the same judgments. Otherwise, I will be judged and put on the outside. Other people influence us incredibly so. Other people influence us far beyond what we want, need, and desire. And the only way to stop that outside influence is to kind of put the horse blinders on, go within. Now, when it comes to a lot of these things, and especially when it comes to religion, which there's a lot of things in the air with religion right now. We don't have to get into all of them, but we're going to talk about little things. There's cognitive dissonance and the reticular activating system, okay? So if your parents say, this religion, this God, this way of life is the answer in religion, and this is the one that's going to create an afterlife for us, right? A lot of religions here, it's not just about my life here on earth, but it's about preserving my life and having this everlasting life in heaven, Valhalla, whatever it is, you know, this, my spirit will live on and I'll get 42 virgins, or my spirit will live on and I'll walk with Jesus in heaven, or my spirit will live on, and whatever, you know, it's just like everybody's different belief. There's almost this weird sense of immortality. Now, that's to each their own, but it's like how you live your life here is how we live our life here. All right. So we have these installments of religion. We have these installments of how the world works, how money works, how authoritarian figures work. And we have to be able to not identify with any of it. We have to be able to stop and think for ourselves. Did I see this? Did I feel this? Was this my experience? Or was this your experience that you are now just sharing and I'm regurgitating your story? I watched a person interview somebody today. Let me see. This is going to be terrible. I'm going to try to find this right now as I'm sitting here talking to you, because I'm not going to cut the video. That's all right. Here we go. Stick with me, friends. This is good. This is really interesting. All right, and here we go.
There's so much trans hate in the fucking world. Sorry, there's so much trans hate in the world right now, and I'm so done with it. And pride just means that we are unabashedly happy just to be alive.
Yeah. And where do you personally feel that hate is coming from?
Most places, but especially the government.
And in your own life, where would you say that you feel the hate the most?
I feel like I kind of internalize a lot of the hate, so it feels like it mostly comes from myself at this point.
All right. We'll spare the Curb Your Enthusiasm comedy of it afterward. That's heavy. That's heavy, my friends. I'm not going to debate what's right or wrong about this. I'm not going to say, I don't have an opinion. It doesn't matter. My opinion doesn't matter about it. But what she just said there, or I'm assuming is what that individual just said right there, is that the government is to blame for all this trans hate, that people outside are to blame for all this trans hate. But then when she stopped for a second and said, where does this come from? She said, I think it's me. I internalize the hate. Okay? So we have to understand our own personal accountability within this world. We have to understand our own personal accountability. If we're feeling insecure, it brings out insecurities in other people. It makes other people work harder to lift the weight of comfort, to appease, to get over that hump. Because it's not that you are insecure, it's that it's an act, right? We're acting insecure about something, or we have an insecurity, so we recoil. This is our life. Why would we recoil in front of other people? I don't know how old you are. How old are we? How long have we been able to sit with ourselves? How long have we been able to learn from ourselves? We think about the problems of others to avoid thinking about ourselves. We look at external things so that we don't have to go within. Going within is so difficult. That's why meditation is so difficult for so many people. Or sitting with ayahuasca medicine is so difficult. Or any sort of psychedelic hallucinogens, right? You have to go within. You have to kind of go within your body and see your shadow. You have to sit with yourself. You have to look into the mirror. So in our own cognitive dissonance, in our own reticular activation system, that we're building up the walls of what reality is and saying, this is the way. My answer is the way. And what research have I done beyond what my parents have told me, what my pastor or what this religious leader or this authoritarian figure have told me about this? What research have I done? What research have we done in order to determine this life? Right? People are going to constantly try to tell you what life is. Now, I open up social media here. I open up Instagram or Facebook, and I get all the time that there's these ads of people that really want me to join their school program, whatever. They want my money. Let's be honest. Let's not get around this. It's not about educating me. It's not about helping. They want me to either work for them so they can profit off of me and join their roster, or they want me to join one of their coaching programs or something so that I can join sound bowls and this and learn about astrology and all of these things. It's just like we have to be able to discern for ourselves what is right, what is wrong. And then further, because this is in the sign of Libra, it's important to be able to communicate those things with others and then get feedback, okay? But this is this expansion here, and don't just take my word for it. Don't take my word for it, right? Do the research yourself. And that's one of the beautiful things about astrology. We can sit here and talk about it, but there's a lot of information out there for you to do the research yourself. Nobody's bogarting and holding this information. Now, back in the days of the church, okay, before the printing press, the Jewish folks had the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant hold the Torah, hold the Holy Grail. Holy Grail, really, before the Torah. Now it holds the Torah because there's many Arks of the Covenant, but before there was just one. And the rabbi held the power. The rabbi was the one that was closest to God instead of you. You had to work to be close to the rabbi, to be close to the God. Or you had to contact and get in touch with the priest or the pastor who was your way to salvation. And you'd have to tell this person your sins. Okay, you'd had to confess. This is manipulation, my friends. This is a way for you to tell somebody else things about yourself and they can hold them over you. And we see people do this all the time. We see people do this all the time. By me explaining myself to you, I'm giving you ammunition that you're going to turn around and use against me later on. And that is manipulation. That is the crux of this eclipse right here. Okay. Now we have Mercury very close to this. Mercury is in conjunction with this new moon, the sun, the moon, and the south node. So this is about communication. This is about how our minds work. And it is extremely, extremely, extremely challenging that once our minds are set up and say, this is my religion, this is my belief, this is how I believe money works, this is how I believe men are, or women are, or how the patriarchy is, or the monarchy is, or the media is, how astrology's stupid, or, whatever it is. If we have our mind made up about something and then evidence is presented to us that is different, it's extremely quick to write it off because our brains are programmed to not accept new information that goes against our belief system of which we are convinced about. Okay, when we have a conviction of something, it's so deep into our system, it's a deep layer of steak, and then you're sprinkling salt and pepper on top of it of change or of positivity. I've got this huge steak here in my belly of negativity, and I'm just sprinkling positive affirmations on top. Or I have this steak here of I hate men, or I hate the patriarchy, and I'm sprinkling on, but I want love. And I want to find somebody that's nice. Or women, right? And women have done me dirty. It goes both ways, friends, right? It doesn't matter to me. I'm talking about astrology here. It goes both ways, and we all deal with this kind of stuff. So it's very challenging. It's very challenging for us to say, I'm being presented with information that is different from my core belief system, but I desire change. I am stuck. I want something different. We will be taken advantage of consistently throughout life unless we stick up for ourselves, unless we pull out the phone and hit the record button to make sure that we have our security net, our safety net, just as somebody else is filming us. We have to make sure that we have proper communication. Okay, so that both sides of the scales are even. We have to be able to try to communicate our best with people instead of just withholding information. It is important to try to communicate so that we can come to a proper understanding. Just like this gentleman, these two people in the video asking a question and the one responding. It's an open conversation, but if that individual felt like they were being attacked by the questions, they would have recoiled, they would have reclused and not been able to open up for a conversation, not been able to share those things, and we couldn't be able to sit here and talk about it today and bring these things into our minds to allow those perspectives or the thick steak to kind of help dissolve some of this stuff. We all have wounds. We all have traumas. We all have elements in our life where we were raised, something from our parents, something from our childhood, something from elementary school, something from a love relationship. Everybody's had their heart broken. And I know very few people that have met their love of their life and they've only been with one person forever. A lot of people have heartbreak, and then they respond and react differently as they move about life. Okay, and they come guarded and hold their hearts close to their arms aren't open. Well, I'm gonna hug you like this so I can easily escape. All right, what is it? This isn't is dealing with other people. This isn't our type, it's our pattern. And we self-sabotage ourselves because it gives us the illusion of control over our emotions. So when something goes wrong, we can say that we knew it, we understood. We self-sabotage ourselves to give us the illusion that we have control over our emotions. And we set ourselves up all the time. So in the midst of setting ourselves up and sabotaging ourselves, What are we doing to the other person? It's manipulation. It's full circle, right? So while we're do you see what I'm saying there? While we're sabotaging ourselves because of our own belief system, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough, I'm not attractive enough, I'm not going to be the one to get the job, it's too hard to get an agent, I'm sabotaging myself. So what are we doing to others? While we're sabotaging ourselves, we're manipulating a scenario so that we're setting it up to fail. Yeah. And it takes work. It takes work to correct this part of the mind, this cardinal aspect of the mind that's so strong that we have to be able to take in other perspectives. We have to be able to communicate. We have to be able to be open. We have to be able to release and let go thoughts, emotions, feelings, ideas, concepts, other people's version of reality that doesn't align with us. Because the more that we're living other people's reality, the more that we're living somebody else's dream, the more that we're doing somebody else's job, working for somebody else's boss, the less of a boss we're being for ourselves, which is what this energy is telling us with the North Node in Aries, right? North Node in Aries, conjunct Eris, conjunct Chiron. This is about healing yourself. Now, if we love ourselves, let's flip over here to Aries. Now, although the energy's over here, this is truly about letting go. This is a new beginning of letting go about other people. And Mars in Scorpio is just like, I'm not afraid to do the deep work, the deep emotional work to make sure that I am providing for myself. Mars in Scorpio is very strong. Okay, Mars is home in Scorpio, very strong water sign. Very strong Mars energy of devotion, of moving toward what you want, of getting what you want, allowing yourself to align with your emotions and your emotions to flow, not just an I need energy over here in the Aries. All right. So the North Node conjunct Eris. Eris is how we deal with information that's given to us. Chiron here is about healing. So we have to heal this part of ourselves that is how we view ourselves. Okay? If we love ourselves fully, if we love ourselves in a very healthy way, not an overly egotistical way, an unbalanced way, healthy love and appreciation for ourselves. There are things that I love and want and desire in this world. There are lots of things that I don't love, want, and desire. Those other things that I'm not interested in, lots of people are interested in those things. Lots of people are interested in those things. And there's a personality type. There's a physical attraction that we're all interested in. Okay? And it's okay and healthy for us to be able to enjoy those things. And for us to be able to come to peace with ourselves, with our mind, right? Cardinal mind energy. I create this in my mind most of the time. I'm going to blame the government. I'm going to blame people, but I create it in my mind most of the time. We have to be able to let go. We have to be able to allow ourselves to love ourselves fully, to where an outside judgment comes in and says, hey, you're silly for liking astrology. Like, I don't really care if somebody tells me that astrology is stupid. A lot of people tell me astrology is stupid, or they don't understand why I put out these videos, and that's okay. I don't feel the need to try to justify my actions. I allow them to believe what they'd like. And if we desire to have a little bit of an open conversation, depending on how they approach me about it, and if they seem to be a little bit open, I might share that this is a great clock, right? And if we're looking at this great clock of astrology, and we say, look, it's 2 o'clock in the morning. There's going to be more drunks on the road at 2 o'clock in the morning. It's a fact. It's not a guess. There's going to be more drunks on the road, between 12 and 2 in the morning. So it's like, when we're looking at the clock here, Libra, we know we're talking about our relationship with others. When we're talking about Aries, we know we're talking about the relationship with ourselves. So if I can start to relate this and share it with this person, a different perspective than the back page of the Cosmopolitan, which is just like, oh, Leos are egotistical and blah, 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 blah. That stuff, I think it's kind of annoying astrology, to be perfectly honest with you. That's my opinion. But the person in Cosmopolitan needs to make a paycheck, right? So they're going to sit there and they're going to write it up week after week after week, or month after month after month. And people are going to, I see them all the time. I see people put out these stupid videos of like misinformation, and they do it just to get a rise. They do it to get people talking, to get people commenting on their channel. And it's just like, this is a form of manipulation. Okay. Now, this energy is about us coming back to an alignment with ourselves. How do we perceive ourselves? How do we love ourselves? How do we heal ourselves? How do we accept ourselves? And that bit of acceptance is extremely, extremely important moving forward, because the more that we accept ourselves, people also feel extremely more comfortable around us because we are an acceptance of ourselves. Regardless of what we like, you could be so just a bananas out there Aquarian, okay, that has like a triangle glass here, a round one here, Cruella de Vil hair, the craziest outfit, and it doesn't matter what you look like or what your music, that is your music style or the cinema you watch or the kind of things that you like to create as an artist or the poetry you like to write. You could be the weirdest, most random out there stuff. But if you are content and comfortable with yourself and you love yourself, you're naturally going to find people that also love your work and love what you do. Okay. So this eclipse is so much about self-acceptance. Is one huge aspect of this eclipse, is about self-acceptance, loving yourself so much that you're not buying Uggs because it's the next in thing or whatever it is. I don't even want to name drop, like whatever the next fad is coming up for this, Halloween, or the next fad, the next trend that's coming up for this holiday season for buying all the toys and presents, and we got to get the new best in thing. Okay, it doesn't matter. You gotta, if you want it, you want it. If you love it, you love it. But if you're getting it just to try to, spend money that you don't have, to impress people you don't know, don't like, don't care, why, right? So that's where Eris comes into this. Why are we doing these things? And same with this confidence goes, let's look at the animal kingdom, all right? Because I was chatting about that same concept. Our insecurities make other people feel insecure. And it's like, well, look at how we relate with animals, okay? Look at Steve Irwin. Steve Irwin's heart was so open that he had a beautiful relationship with animals, that he knew he was accepted, he was part of them, he was a part of nature just as much as they were a part of nature. And he ended up having these beautiful relationships with animals. And there's a lot of people that we see these cool videos of, or nature lovers, that have these amazing relationships with animals. And if you're nervous around an animal, it's a vibration. This whole world is a vibration, right? It's a sound wave. So our nervous vibration, I just want to give you a hug me. It's just like, what? No, why? Are you okay? Why are you jittery? Are you drinking too much caffeine? What's going on with you? So, and animals can feel that energy. So can humans. But we dumb ourselves down and we think we can't. We can. We got to follow that gut feeling. And we have to allow ourselves, nervousness is natural, so I don't want to tell people to not be nervous. But accepting of ourselves is so important. And then doing the research. Like, don't just believe somebody, Google it, look it up. Don't Google it, whatever. Look up whatever search engine you want to look up. What is this? Is there truth behind this? Is there fact behind this? Is there something to discover? Is there something to read further into? And if so, great. Thank you for this seed. Thank you for this input. And now I've gone, look at myself. Discovered for myself. Where are we coming from? There's another part of this eclipse. Okay. It's extremely important as well. Is the eclipse the last eclipses we've had was South Node Scorpio and the North Node here in Taurus. Now, the North Node, the head of the dragon here in Taurus, this is, of course, about stability. This is about our home. This is about our finances, second house in the zodiac. This is making sure that you got your finances in order, that you have a structured roof over your head, that you have some sort of business plan, a way that you're going to work on this earth, that you're going to supply things for the collective, okay? So it was saying, go in this direction of security for the past 18 months. Now that security was really jumbled up because Uranus has been in the sign of Taurus since 2018? So Uranus here is the wrecking ball of the zodiac. This is what I call it in the sign of Taurus. This is the rototiller. A rototiller is the thing that's going to turn up the ground so you can make a garden. We're done with this flat earth ground. We need to dig this up and change what is this soil and do something different. So as Uranus here, the volcano, the earthquake, the lightning strike, the aha moment of the zodiac is sitting here making things very unstable in the most stable sign of the zodiac, that means our money has become unstable. Our job security has become unstable. And we are trying with abundance in Jupiter, trying to figure out and how to gain stability during this time. During this time of stability, we have seen corporations, CEOs get $1 million increase raises, okay? So they're helping themselves while giving you very little. The North Node is in Aries. The South Node is in Libra. You have to take care of yourself. You have to look out for yourself. This is not passive energy. It's not. At the same time of this not being passive energy, I don't encourage fighting, but it's necessary. I don't encourage people to get physical. I don't encourage people to yell. I don't encourage people to argue with one another, but it happens. I think there's this imbalance, right? We're talking about balance here. Libra, justice, scales. There's an imbalance in the spiritual community, this world, that says you can only feel love, positivity, joy, acceptance, happiness, blessed. And if you're experiencing discomfort, pain, anger, frustration, if you're feeling used, abused, mistreated, and you're upset with this, well, there's something wrong with you that you're upset. And we should just put you on pills. We should just put you on these medications. And there's something wrong with you that you're waking up in the middle of the night to go use the restroom. And we have to get you on these pills and these medications. And there's something wrong with you because you're thinking this way. And we got to get you on these pills and medications, which is going to, of course, make us dumb down with society, numb, and, of course, line the pockets of the person who gave you the pills and the person who created the pills. It's manipulation. And this Libra energy as well, there can be this sense of the birds that all flow together, right? That follow the trend. And we look up in the sky and we see all those birds just flowing together. And it's just like, who's leading this pack? How do they know how to just turn left on this sharp dime? How do they know? I've never been one of those birds. I've never been one of those birds. And I always wondered. And I always wanted. And then it was self-acceptance. I says, okay, I'm not that kind of bird. I'm outside the pack a little bit, and that's all right. But I've got my own things to do. I've got my own way to go. And on that note, let's talk about social media for a quick second. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot going on in the world. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot I'm not going to talk about. It's sad. There's a lot of sad things going on in the world. There's a lot of good things going on in the world. What we give our time and attention to also determines our energy and our proficiency at this life, which is your life. If you are a farmer in Wisconsin and the farm in Hawaii goes down and everyone's telling you that you need to stop farming in your land in Wisconsin so you can go help that person in Hawaii, you're giving up on your entire community. You're listening to other people tell you and direct and dictate what you need to do with your time and energy. And they're going to pull you away from your cause to give into their cause because they care about that cause more than they care about you caring about your cause. I'm going to say that again. People care more about you caring about their cause than they care about you caring about your cause. I need you to care about what I care about. I need you to like what I like. I need you, right? There's a lot of people do this. They say, this is what I found that helped me. This is what I found that helped me, and now I'm going to help you with this thing that helped me. Maybe that thing that helped you isn't going to help me, bud. Maybe that was for you, and my path is over here. And you're not accepting that, and you're just wanting to push your thing onto me. You're trying to push your product onto me. You're trying to push your idea of life onto me. You're trying to push your idea. This is how it is. Maybe that's not the medicine. Maybe that's not the pill I need. Maybe that's not what's going to get me motivated to get up in the morning. Okay? Which is why we go inside ourselves. What is it that we need? Putting the horse blinders on a bit. It's important. It's important to kind of shroud the world out sometimes, right? So if the farmer in Wisconsin just gets up and goes to Hawaii to help that out, it's a nice thing. It's a notable thing. But at the same time, what's going on with the crops in Hawaii? Or what's going on with the crops in Wisconsin? Those crops are going to die. If those crops in Wisconsin die, that means all those people now in Wisconsin and whoever you fed from your crops in Wisconsin across the United States, across the globe, unreliable, not available. And the stuff in Hawaii is not available. Okay, so we've been pulled away from our task that we need to do so that we can give time to somebody else's thing. And this, my friends, this is a double-edged sword. You see you already know where I'm going with this. This is very complicated. This is not an easy eclipse to navigate. This is not easy life to navigate. We care about people. We're compassionate. We're empathetic and sympathetic to other people's causes. We should be, unless we're a raging narcissist or sociopath, right? Which I don't think you are. We all have those tendencies, says the manipulation of Libra. We all have those tendencies to manipulate. We have tendencies to be selfish. We have tendencies to be narcissistic. We have tendencies to be sociopathic. That doesn't mean we're textbook. Yeah. Something else that I see going around a little bit too often right now with the group collective mentality. This is Libra. This is the others. This is the everybody else. This is a lot. This is a lot, my friends. Taking time for ourselves, to be honest with ourselves, taking time with ourselves to be authentic with ourselves, taking time for ourselves to really see what it is that we came down here to do on this planet. This life is your life. You are the sun. You are the hero of the story. This is your journey. This is your journey. What do you need for your journey? Have you been giving away your power to feed into somebody else's journey, somebody else's story? Have you been giving yours away? It's time to take it back. This is your story. Thank you for sharing it with me. My friends, have a beautiful eclipse on Saturday. Finding yourself, finding your position, finding your footing in this world. It's not easy. It's not easy. It's not going to be an easy eclipse to navigate. There's a lot of mental energy going around. There's a lot of tug of wars going around. But I love you. I wish you the best. And I'll see you next time.